Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon-free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well, then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. So I'm in the midst of a really heavy hiring season right now. Just before the year end is a great time to put out feelers for other accounting professionals, tax professionals to see who's going to stick it out through the year end, stick it out through another tax season, and who's kind of in the market looking for their next opportunity. And one of the things that I've been focusing on this hiring season, as we're looking for bookkeepers, tax pros, media folks, administrative, you name it, is we are going on all these different job boards and just posting, hoping we find a really good candidate. But one of the ways that we've been successful with this is being really intentional about really intentional about how we are presenting ourselves in the job description. And I think that this is an undervalued hiring skill, is actually doing marketing in your recruiting. So I'm going to explain what that means, but first I want to tell you what's been going on over here with hiring. And every job position I've posted in the last, let's say 90 days or so, and we've hired a lot of folks, in recent months. And what we found is that we had a ton of traction in the first 24 to 48 hours of, say, posting on LinkedIn and actually posting a job post up there. And of course, that is by design. We know this about LinkedIn. We know that all of the job sites love to kind of push you out there for the first 24 hours, kind of like online dating. And you're going to see some traction, some momentum, and then maybe they'll pull back, they'll pause if you're not promoting and not paying to play. Now, we are paying to play a very small amount because we believe that, yes, we are going to say thank you, LinkedIn, for pushing our job post, but also, I will say this, I put up a bookkeeper job post. And I'm recording this in November. I know you'll be hearing it a little bit later, but this is relevant because very recently I put up a job post and I put it up before Thanksgiving. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to hire this position right away. I'm not urgently hiring. I just want to put feelers out there and see who's looking, kind of catch these really good candidates before they commit to something else, right? Get their attention, get them interviewing, get them committed to a start date in the future, possibly. But I ain't waiting until January to talk to bookkeepers. They're too damn busy. So we got to talk to them now about what their future plans are and about a transition plan, possibly. So here's what I discovered. I put up that job post before Thanksgiving. Within 24 hours, you guys, I had 280 applications. 280. Now, given a lot of these are companies offering offshore help, a lot of these companies are offering contractor help. We're looking for an employee, by the way. And I was underwhelmed by a lot of them. Don't get me wrong. Like, they're not all fantastic candidates. But what I found was that we got a ton of traction. We actually filtered it down to, I would say, 12 really solid candidates within the first 24 hours. And we're filtering even more. And to share with you that the whole point is to share that we've had this type of success with getting immediate responses. Now, that may not be impressive, right? We're like, okay, Shan, you got a lot of people to respond to your stuff, but like, are they really good? Well, we're going to find out. But the other thing is that I've asked everyone who's interviewed with us, one of my questions in my interview is, what drew you to the job post? And almost all the time they say the same thing. And I'm going to share that with you now, which is a unique aspect of how we write our job descriptions. There's a couple of things that we will do that basically grab attention like a hook. And we do not lead in with what you have to do to work here. I feel like the recruiting landscape, now I'm not an expert in this, but I've hired people in corporate, and I would say even 5 years ago, even 7, 8 years ago, we had this market where everybody was kind of acting like they were lucky to have a job and lucky to work with us, and they were vying for these jobs at the table. And when I graduated 2008, we had the same exact attitude. It was like, "Oh, wow, we are so flattered that you, company, want to hire us. Thank you so much for this opportunity." We saw it as an opportunity. We saw it as something to strive for, to reach for. But I feel like now the companies are fighting over the top candidates in the same way. In a way, a lot of us millennials have had to ask to work with us and had to be in that not have that upper hand on both sides of the equation. So it's really interesting to watch that unfold. And one of the ways that we've been able to overcome that, overcome these challenges. Now, there's a known issue out there that there's an accountant shortage happening. And it's hilarious to me because I go, yeah, there's an accountant shortage, but I got 250 applications in a day, y'all. I get that there's an accountant shortage, but I think it could also be a mix of an accountant shortage and an abundance of crappy places to work. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not lie. So, one thing I've noticed with our job descriptions is that we try to bring them in with a hook, and I'm going to share with you what that looks like. So, our job description actually for our bookkeeper, I'm going to read it to you. I have it pulled up. And what we try to do is we ask 3 or so questions, or we highlight the aspects of the person that we're looking for. So, number one, do you love serving clients but want to make a bigger impact in helping them? And number two, just want to do bookkeeping and reduce stress but not have to build your own business from scratch? And three, do you want flexible remote work where you can make your own hours and work from anywhere? If so, we are hiring a motivated bookkeeper to join our team at Keep What You Earn Company. Now, I go into detail on who we are, what we stand for, our core values. And then I go into the desired traits of this person, desired type of experience they have, attitude, and all of that. Now, it's really important, though, that we lead in with these three questions and we grab their attention because it's more about knowing where is your ideal candidate right now? Where are they right now? And in this case, I'll use my example. My example would be I'm looking for somebody who's working in bookkeeping or accounting. They're somewhat unhappy and unsatisfied with where they're at because they're not making as big of an impact as they want to. They feel like they're going through the motions, they're working for a bigger company, they're underappreciated, and they're overworked. They know that they can do their job without having to be in the office or follow old school principles and paradigms. And maybe they're going through a lifestyle change. Hey, real quick, are you learning anything in this episode that you think is share worthy? Well, if you could take a quick screenshot and share any of your biggest takeaways or quotes from this episode, post it to Instagram and make sure to tag me at Shannon K. Weinstein and at Keep What You Earn. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Let's dive back in. A lot of people do this when they have kids or they retire or something just happens in their lives where they need to be home and they need to have some flexible work arrangements. Maybe they're moving to a different time zone, whatever it may be. And that means that they need a little bit of flexibility. And let's be honest, guys, the accounting industry, not exactly known for our flexibility. So, what makes this interesting is I'm trying to grab their attention, knowing exactly who this person is. Maybe it's a military spouse. Maybe it's a mom, a new mom. Maybe it's someone who just retired and they're looking for that part time work and to grow into full time. But they're looking for that fixed set of expectations, that manageable workload, and that thing that they can do and do with pleasure because they're serving clients directly as opposed to working for a bunch of different CPAs who are just churning out tax returns, right? So, what's most important here is understanding your ideal candidate. I want you to take everything that you've ever learned about marketing, about your ideal client avatar, your ideal client persona, the way you talk to them in copy, in sales pages, everything, your email campaigns. And I want you to flip that entire approach into your ideal employee candidate. And you're going to do the same thing as a company on, say, a platform like LinkedIn about talking about how you love to share books with your team. We just started doing this, for example. I should put this in the job description. I'm literally sharing this with you in the moment, but we just started this initiative at Keep What You Earn Co. To every month we're doing like a little bit of a book club and we're putting our favorite books up on this Google spreadsheet. And if your book is on the list, we will reimburse you if you buy that book, whether it's on Audible audiobook or physical copy or Kindle. We will reimburse you for that. And we have a Slack channel to talk about what you're learning from the books that you're reading. So we highly value being lifelong learners. And that shows in policies like this, in initiatives like this. So when we say we're looking for a lifelong learner, we effing mean it. So you can tell that we do because of things like this. And the more that you can actually live by your core values and do things that demonstrate them, freaking talk about that. Talk about that you're doing that and share that in your job description, share that in your company page. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many accountant websites there are that are like, here are our services about us. And it's like a bunch of dudes in headshots with suits on with like a blue background, like they showed up at picture yearbook day. And enough. We don't care. We don't care. We care about, hey, am I going to work until 7 at night? And I'm going to miss my kids' dinner, my kids' soccer practice. Like, I don't care about any of this stuff. I want to see who you are. I want to see your true colors. I want to see what's going to happen when there's a challenge. And I would say the most important hiring skill that you need to bring to the table is an awareness of how you live your values, but also a way of demonstrating that in the written form for your job description and being super clear in your job descriptions about what it is that you will tolerate, what you won't tolerate. You will attract the right candidate, you will repel the wrong candidates. Heck, I put a job description up recently for a communication specialist to help us with the podcast and with some social media and some PR research and so on. And I mean, I put shit in the first sentence of, I was like, do you like to get shit done? I think I put it in the first sentence of the job description. And yeah, I have no regrets about that because if someone didn't like that, then you're probably not a fit for us because I say shit all the time. And what can I do? And it's so important to just kind of show up authentically in this job description for your company and say stuff like that if that's what you say on a daily basis. Like, well, you don't have to put in your job description person willingly tolerates, profane language, but you can just put like want to get shit done. And I guarantee you, people who apply to that probably didn't mind that statement. They understand you from the get go if they want to work with you because you're showing up authentically, the writing the way that you want to. I would also argue that you don't have somebody else write your job descriptions. Maybe refine them a little bit. Someone who has expertise on copy and like kind of conversion into candidates. But I would say a lot of the ways that you show up authentically will matter. Like, shout out to Jackie Koch from People Principles. She's helped us with this immensely, and she is kind of my HR support structure. But she's helped me navigate, what's important to say in a job description, how to craft a solid job description. And one of the ways that we've done that is by just infusing all that personality into it as much as possible and just being authentically real with what we're looking for. Like, not sugarcoating it, not making it into professional resume stuff. It would just be, hey, you want to get shit done. You want to not get micromanaged. You want the flexibility that you need and work remote, but also, be trusted with your daily work and treated like a professional. And also, supported and encouraged to read and to listen to books and to listen to podcasts and to share what you're learning. If so, you might be a fit for our team. So I share that with you all to encourage you to be super truthful with yourself on what it is you're looking for in your candidates. You will find the right people if you are looking in the right places and you are making it super clear what people get when they come work with you. Because a lot of the times, misalignments, misunderstandings, things that lead to firings or quitting, most of it's a lack of communication, a lack of expectations. This can be mitigated immensely by being able to articulate right up front what your expectations are, not mincing words, being super clear, and being willing to showcase either your humor, your sensitivity, your guidelines, your values right out the gate. So I would say if I had to bottle this up into the most important hiring skill that you need right now is your ability to showcase your values in job descriptions when you're presenting yourself in front of the job market. 100%. Now give that a try. I would encourage you, if even if you're not hiring, find a way to find an example of how you live your values every day without disclosing what your values are based on your expectations of the role based on your expectations of your team, of yourself? How can you demonstrate that these are your values regardless, like without even having to list out what your values are? Could someone tell what they are just from the way you behave and the way you write about what you guys do? And that's an interesting question. I want you to sort of journal on that and think about that. How are you living your values right now in an implicit way that the ideal candidate would love to come work with you? All right, take that down, go journal on it, go explore it, and I'll see you on the next episode. One of the best decisions I made in business that saved me countless headaches was getting expert advice in HR as I started growing my team. With so many compliance requirements, especially for virtual businesses, I could never get caught up on everything I needed to learn or I was supposed to do. That's where Jackie and her team at People Principles came in with their signature HR audit for only $349. But get this, if you use code Shannon50, you get $50 off of that. So it's only $300. You'll have peace of mind by the end of the week with this exclusive offer as a Keep What You Earn listener. Here's what's included: a step-by-step self-assessment, a 60-minute strategy session with their HR experts to ensure that you're in compliance and you have a plan for getting on track, an HR template to keep all this important stuff in one place, and a roadmap of the top 3 best practices to implement right now in the next 6 to 12 months. Again, use code Shannon50 to take $50 off of this assessment. Do not miss out on this opportunity or let unintentional HR mistakes derail your business growth. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.